at the start. He has learned from pain, from loss, from war, and from shadow of Usman Bey. Now he that a ruler cannot win only by bravery. A ruler must also think before the enemy thinks, move before the enemy moves, and strike before the enemy becomes ready. The latest update tells us that Orhan learns about a large family living constant. This is a big movement because it shows his intelligence network is working. It is also that Oran is no longer fighting small battles only around towns and borders. The conflict has now become much wider. Brusa, Crowley's Harbour, and the surrounded lands are all part of the bigger political and military picture. The enemies are trying to use a land and sea together. They want to surround Oran and face him to our corner, but Orhan answered its bold. Instead of waiting for the enemy's ship to attack, he plans to burn them before they can even leave a harbor. This kind of move shows the difference between a normal warrior and a state builder. A warrior reacts after the attack begins. A state builder stops the attack before it becomes a disaster. This is where the final update feels powerful. It shows that Cruelis Oran is not only about personal revenge of place tension, it is also about birth of political mind. Orhan is becoming a ruler who understands timing, fear, moral, and strategy. He knows that if the enemy flees, sails, the war will become harder. He knows that if the Empire joins forces with the Ottoman side, may also my life. So he chooses a dangerous plan. He does not simply defend it. He attacks the enemy plan itself. In simple words, Orhan does not wait for the storm, he tries to break the storm before it reaches his people. At the same time, the latest story is not only about armies and ships. The update also mention happiness and reunion in Brusa. This matter because Cruelis Orhan has always mixed war with emotions. The Waviers do not only watch battle, they watch families, love, loyalty, pain, and sacrifices. Brusa is not just a city in the story. Brusa is a symbol of dream. It is the place that Usman Bey wanted. It is the place that carries the memory of struggle. It is also the place where Orhan must show that the state is not built only with sword but also with just patience and unity. In this section, we need to understand why Orhan's position is so difficult. He is not fitting on one enemy, he is fighting many kinds of enemies at the same time. The first enemy is the clear enemy, the one who comes from outside with soldiers and flags. This enemy can be seen, this enemy can be faced in battle. The second enemy is the hidden enemy, the one who smiles in front of people but plans behind their backs. This enemy is more dangerous because he now the weak point of the tribe, the place, and the bay. The third enemy is fear. When people see begin armies and fear now of ship and fear begins to spread, a ruler must defeat this fear before it defeats the people who the trust or her real taste is to keep his people wanted while every enemy tries to divide them. Rule in the latest update is very important. He is not just another, he represents the danger of internal. For any growing state, the enemy inside can be more harmful than the enemy outside. The empire may bring soldiers but brings debate. The empire may bring ships but brings division. The empire may attack walls but attacks trust. That is why Orhan must deal with him carefully. If Orhan acts too slowly, may damage the unit of the bay. If Orhan acts too harshly without proof, some people may say he is unjust. So Orhan must walk on a very path. He must be strong but not blind. He must be merciful but not weak. He must punish but he must not let anger control his judgment. This is where the story becomes more mature. In early parts of the Ottoman story, we saw many horses prove themselves with courage, but in Crowley's Orhan, courage alone is not enough. Orhan must prove that he can govern. He must listen to good evidence, watch the movement of enemy, climb the heart of the people, and make decisions that may hurt him personally but save the state. This is the burden of leadership. A simple man, simple war can run toward danger with a sword. A ruler must decide who will fight, who will stay, who will protect the city, who will guard the families, who will carry messages, and who can be trusted with secrets. The latest update also gives the viewer a feeling that Orhan is not stepping out of Osman's shadow. This does not means he is forgetting his father. It means he is now trying with legacy in his own way. Osman Bey opened the road. Orhan must wait it. Usman Bey planted the tree. Orhan must protect it from storms. Or Usman Bey give the people a dream. Episode update feels emotionally. Every major decision by Orhan now feels connected to the past and the future at the same time. When Orhan makes a war plan, he is not only trying to win one battle, he is trying to protect the future of the state that his father started. The imperial plan is also meaningful. He now that Orhan is growing stronger, he now that the Ottoman the side is no longer a small power that can ignore, so he tries to use a classic method. He wants to sound the appointment, break his focus and attack from different sides. Or if Orhan runs toward one threat, another threat may it hit from behind it. Orhan protect Brusa. The harbor may become dangerous if he move toward the harbor. Enemies inside may make trouble. This is why Orhan plan must be very sharp. He cannot simple answer one attack. He must story the chain of attacks. Burning the ships before they sail is not only a military move, it is a message. The message is clear. I know your plan and I am ready inside your plan before you can use it. This kind of storytelling gives the final episode a strong dramatic taste. Viewers want to see whether Orhan can outsmart the Imperial. They want to see whether will finally face the result of his. They want to see whether Busa will become a place of peace or another battlefield. They want to know what happens to people who have suffered for love, loyalty, and family. A good final episode must answer many questions, and this update show that the final will try to bring together war, emotions, politics, and just. Another important part of the latest update is the idea of unity. In historical drama, unity is always tested before victory. The hero never wins only because he is strong, he wins because he brings people together at the right time. Orhan has to unite a pile. He wins family member, place, people, and city people. Everyone has different fears. The family soldiers fear death. The mother fear losing sons. The bear fear losing power. The people action. He must show the soldier that he has a plan. He must show the mothers that their sons will not die for anything. He must show the way that this day is bigger than personal pride. He must show the people that justice is not dead, and he must show that the state has eyes. The final episode has seems to cry a message about destiny and responsibility. Orhan did not choose an any As a life, he was born into a house of struggle. His father name give him honor, but it also gives him pressure. Every mistake he makes will be compared with Usman. Every victory he wins will be seen as a part of Usman dream. This is both a gift and a burden. For Orhan, the real question is not whether he can be like Usman, the real question is whether he can be Orhan. We must react to old road. But he must also create new steps. This is how state grew. It cannot live only in memory. It must move forward. The emotional side of the story is also important for the audience. Cruelis Orhan includes love, family sacrifices, and personal pain because these things make the political story human. If the series only show war, viewers would feel distance, but when viewers see a mother waiting for new, a wife hiding pain, a sister facing break heart of a viewer seen a Brusa and reunion suggests that even in the middle of war, the story remembers that the hearts of the character. This balance is one reason this series attracts viewers. They show that history is not only made by kings and rhymes, it is also made by families, promises, tears, and choice. Now, if we look at Orhan character, in this update, we can say he is becoming more silent but more dangerous. In many stories, young leaders speak loudly to prove their strength, but mature leaders do not need to shout all the time. Their decisions speak for them. Orhan planned to attack the ships before they move, show a calm kind of coach. He is not acting only from anger. He is reading the board. He is choosing the place where the enemy feels safe. He is turning the enemy's confidence into weakness. This is the mark of a stronger leader. The final episode also raises the question of sacrifices. A plan like burning enemy ships at a harbor is not simple. It requires brave people. It requires security. It requires timing. It may require someone to enter dangerous ground and maybe not return. These create emotional tension. Who will go? Who will stay? Who will risk his life for the future of the state? In cruel style, storytelling, these moments often become unforgettable because the viewers know that victory has a price. The state does not rise for free. Every wall, every banner, every conquest, and every victory carries the name of people who gave something. Alliance with the empire also give a strong moral lesson. When a person becomes builded by pride, he may stand beside the enemy just to hurt his own people. This is one of the darkest part of may think he is fighting Orhan, but in reality, he is hurting the land. The episode and the future arbitrator after often say he is fighting or justice, but his actions show that he is fighting for himself. This is way Orhan answer must be more than revenge. It must be justice. Revenge needs anger for one moment, just protect the state for many years. The latest update also make and feel important in the video story when if the final episode focus on the immediate battle, the direction of the series and show that Orhan eyes are not limited to one place. He is thinking about expansions. He is thinking about roads, coastal ports, and future companion. This is how the early Ottoman state grew from a fortunate power into something stronger. Every move has a second meaning. Taking one hill may open the road to a city. Controlling one harbor may stop an enemy army. Winning one alliance may prevent a future war. Orha must think in this large way. There is also a strong contrast between the old world and the new world. The old world is full of local arrives, personal power, and small ambition. The new world that Orhan wants to build is based on order, state mind, and long term vision. This is why many people may resist him. Not everybody want a strong state because a strong state limits unfair powers. So Orhan fight is not only against, it is also against the old habits. This stop unity. This make his struggle more difficult but also more meaningful. For a YouTube style script, this point should be explained clearly to the audience. The latest update is not only saying there will be big battle, it is saying Orhan is now facing the biggest test of leadership. The Imperial was to crush him from outside, want to break him from inside. The people need hope, the soldier need direction, the family need protection. Brusa needs peace, the future needs courage. All these pressure are on one man's shoulders. This is where the final episode has strong emotional power. We should also take about the title feeling of Cruelis Orhan. The word Cruelis means establishment, foundation, or beginning. But in this series, the beginning is not soft, it is born from fire. Orhan state is not built in calm day, it is built while enemies are moving, while are happening, while families are crying, and while leaders are forced to choose between heart and duty. This makes the title meaningful. A state is not established when anyone agree. A state is established when one strong vision services disagreements, danger, and sacrifices. In the latest update, Orhan plan against the ship can also be as a symbol. Ships are not just ship; they represent the enemy connection, movement, and power. If ships sail, the enemy becomes more flexible. If the ships burn, the enemy loses confidence. Burning the ships means burning the enemy's hope of surrounding. This symbolish make this scan powerful even before it happens. Warriors imagined fire, night, secret movement, swords, arrows, and the shock of the enemy. They imagined Orhan watching the flames and knowing that the first part of the enemy plan has failed. But the danger is that very bold plan can fail if the enemy discover the plan early. Orhan man may be trapped. If informs the Imperial, the harbor may become a that trap. If the timing goes wrong, the ships may leave before Orhan can burn them. If Orhan sends too many men to the harbor, Brusa may be exposed. If he sends too few men, the mission may fail. This is where the final episode can create strong. The plan is existing because it is risky. A safe plan does not create drama. A dangerous plan does. The emotional reunion in Brusa can work as the softer side of the final. After so much pain, we will need some relief. They need to see that love and loyalty still have a place in this world. But even happy movement in this kind of series are not simple. A reunion may happen under the shadow of war. A wedding may happen while enemies prepare an attack. A family may smile while soldiers sharpen sword outside. This mix of happiness and danger makes this scene deeper. It reminds us that in the world of Cruise or Hunt, peace is always spacious because it is never granted. Now let us shape this into a strong video script. On the opening should catch attention immediately. It should not repeat the same lines again and again. It should tell the viewer that the final update has changed everything. Then it should explain the latest episode details in simple words. After that, it should analyze Orhan plan, the imperial strategy, Brusa emotional value, and what this mean for the future of the story. The style should be easy, clear and natural. It should sound like a person speaking to viewers, not like a copied article. Here is how to main script can begin. Cruelis Oran has now reached its most dangerous stage, and the latest update has made one thing very clear. Sultan Oran is no longer facing a normal enemy, he is facing a full plan designed to trap him from every side. The Imperial is preparing a major move. He's standing as a dangerous interior threat, and the Ottoman state is being tested at the exact moment when it needs unity the most. This is not just another episode update. This is the point where Orhan must show whether he is only the son of Usman, whether he has truly become the ruler who can carry Usman Bey's dream forward. The final episode update showed that the enemy want to put Orhan between two powerful dangers. The Imperial is moving with a serious plan, and he is using the confusion for his own aim. Their goal is simple. They want to awaken Orhan before he becomes too strong. They know that if Orhan keeps growing, the Ottoman state will become harder to stop. They know that Busa has given him strength. His people have started to trust him, and his enemies have already seen that he is not an easy man to defeat. So now they are not coming with small tricks, they are coming with a large strategy. But Sultan Orhan is not blind to this danger. This most important part of update is that Orhan learns about the army coming from constant. This changed everything. If Orhan did not know about this army, he could have walked straight into the enemy's trap. But because he receives the information early, he gets a chance to turn the game around. This is the difference between a leader who only fights and a leader who rules. A fighter waits for the enemy, between a leader who only fights and a leader who Orhan understand that the real battle begins before sword touch. The enemy want to use ships from Tracy Harbor, and this is where Orhan plan become bold. He does not want to wait until those ships become a threat. He want to burn them before they leave the harbor. This is very strong move because it attacks the enemy plane its roots. If the ships burn, the enemy loses in movement. If the ships burn, the imperial plan becomes weaker. If the ship burn, confidence also shake. Orhan is not just trying to win a battle, he is trying to break the enemy whole design. This is where the final episode feels so important. It is not only about who has the bigger army, it is about who has the sharper mind. The empire has members has, but Orhan has teaming cards and the ability to see the hidden path. He knows that if he react late, may people may die. He knows that if he move early, he may save the state from a much bigger danger. That is that is the way heavy burden of leadership. Our ruler must make harder discussion before everyone else understand why they are needed. Rule makes the story even more intense, and in the enemy outside the border is easy to understand. Everyone can point to him and say this is our enemy, but a person like is more dangerous because he comes from the inside. He knows the language of the boy. He understands the fears of the people. He can use all anger, wounded pride, and political tension to create division. That is why Orhan cannot treat him like an ordinary appointment. Is not only a man standing against Orhan, he is a crack inside the wall. And if that crack grow, he whole wall can shake. The Imperial understand this very well. This is why he does not really only on his own army. He tries to use internal weakness. He want Orhan to fight on many fronts at once. He want time tried, he want to confused, he want his people to question him. This is and strategy, but it is still dangerous. When a state is young, unity is greatest shield. If that unity breaks, even a strong army can become weak. Or a real state is to protect unity will the enemy through fire from every side. Brusa is also that heart of the story. Brusa is not just a place on a map, it is a symbol of victory, memory, and future power. For Usman, Babe Brusa was a dream. For Orhan Brusa is no a responsibility. Winning a city is one thing, holding it, protecting it, and turning into a center of strength in another thing. The final update show that Brusa is still emotionally important, and this makes sense because the city cries the weight of the whole journey. Every time Rusa is mentioned, viewers remember the long struggle that brought the Ottoman to this point. The reunion and happiness in Brusa also give the story a human heart. War alone can make a story heavy, but emotions makes it alive. People do not only fight for land, they fight for families, homes, children, honor, and the hope of a better future. When the story show happiness in Brusa, it reminds us that what Orhan is real protecting, he is not protecting only walls and guests, he is protecting lives. He is protecting people who want to sleep without fear. He is protecting the dream that one day their children will alive under justice, not under constant danger. This is why oral leadership feels different now. He is not only thinking like a warrior, he is thinking like a founder. He knows that every discussion will shape the future. If they show weakness, enemies will attack harder. If he becomes cruel without reason, his own people may fear him. If he trusts the wrong man, may enter the heart of the state. If he delay, the enemy may arrive. So very choose is very heavy. This is not the life of normal man. This is the life of a ruler who must cry. The latest update gives all the audience a reason to look back at the whole journey. Osman Bey's dream did not become real in one day. It passed through many hands, many sacrifices, and many painful choices. Now Orhan stands at the door of a new age. He is not only defending what his father built, he is preparing to expand it. That means his enemies will become stronger. To the bigger state becomes the bigger the enemies will becoming stronger. To the bigger state, bigger threats become. This final episode is not the end of danger. It is the proof that Orhan is ready for greater danger. In this way, Cruelis Orhan become a story about growth. Orhan grew from a son into a ruler. They grow toward a state. Brusa grew from a target into a center. The enemies grow from local threat into large alliances. The emotional stakes grow from family pain into national responsibilities. Everything becomes bigger. That is where the final update feels like a turning point for the audience. The most exacting question is simple: will Orhan defeat the trap before the trap closes? This question is full powerful because the answer depends on many things. It depends on loyalty, it depends on speed, it depends on secrecy, it depends on courage, it depends on whether Orhan can read next move. It depends on whether to Emperor has another hidden plan. It depends on whether Bruiser can remain safe whole Orhan streaks at Harbor. This is the kind of story that keeps viewers watching because every sense can change the direction. A message can arrive, a spy can be exposed, a loyal elapse can be wounded, a snap she can catch fire, a gate can open, can be revealed, a rule can make one discussion that change everything. Rules Orhan uses this movement to create suspense, but the deeper reason people care is because the story is tied to viewers are not only watching a battle, they are watching to early snap of a state that will become much larger in history. The easy way to explain the latest episode is the Sultan Orhan is facing the hardest test of the region, the Emperor, and want to trap him between enemies and betrayal. Orhan learns about the danger and prepare a bold wave move against enemy ships at Brusa remains the emotional center of the story, and the final episode is expected to bring war, justice, reunion, and a major leadership movement of for Orhan. This is the heart of the update, but the deeper meaning is strong. The deeper meaning is that Orhan is learning the true cost of rule. Leadership is not only sitting on a throne, leadership is losing sleep while others rest. Leadership is hiding fear so others can feel safe. Leadership is choosing the hard road because the easy road will destroy the future. Leadership is knowing that some people will misunderstand you, some will you, and some will die following you other orders. Yet you must still act for the good of the state. That is why this final episode update matters. It shows Orhan at the point where he must become fully responsible for the dream. The dream is no longer only a memory of Usman Bey, it is now a living duty in Orhan hands. If he succeeds, the state moves forward. If he fails, the enemies will not show mercy. This is the weight of the final episode. This is why fans are watching closely. This is why every detail matters. So as the final episode begins, the question is not only whether Orhan will, the real question is what kind of ruler he will become through this victory. Will he become a ruler who only defeats enemy, or a ruler who builds order after defeating them? He will break the trap and then heal state. Will he punish betrayal and still protect justice? Will he carry Usman Bey's name without being crushed by it? There are questions that make Rulis Orhan more than a story. And now, with the enemy ships waiting, the Imperial moving, plotting, and Brusa standing as the heart of the dream, Sultan Orhan must make his move. The fire at Harbor may become more than flames on wood. It may become the fire that announces a new stage of Ottoman power. It may become the moment when the enemies misunderstand that Orhan is not only defending history, he is making it. Section 1 and Section 2 plan. Orhan leadership, the imperial trap, and why the final battle is more about strategy, strength. Section 3 plan Brusa as the emotional heart of the story, the meaning of reunion, family pressure, love, loyalty, and sacrifices. Section 4 plan the harbor plan in full detail, possible sense, secret movement, fire danger, and how Orhan can turn the enemy plan against them. Section 5 plan character analysis of Orhan, Aproka, Fatma, inverses, and the key emotional conflicts without repeating source wording. Section 2, Section 6 plan final episode prediction, ending explanation, future meaning, and a story strong closing message for viewers in easy English. Section 2 Orhan leadership, the importance, tap, and betrayal. In this section, we will talk about Sultan Orhan leadership, the imperial dangerous trap, and betrayal. This part of the story is very important because it shows that Cruelis Orhan is no longer only about one war, one enemy, or one personal fight. The story has become much bigger. Now Orhan is not only fighting with sword, he is fighting with plan, timing, patience, and strong discussion. The enemy want to attack him from two sides, but the real attack is deeper than that. The real attack is one unity, these people, his confidence, and his future. This is why the latest update feels so powerful. Orhan is standing at a place where one wrong discussion can open the door to disaster, but one smart discussion can change the whole direction of the war. At this point in the story, Sultan Orhan is not the same man he was born in the beginning. Many people looked at him through the name of Usman Bai. Some respected him because he was Usman's son. Some doubted him for the same reason. Some wanted him to prove himself again and again. But now the situation has changed. Orhan is no longer only crying his father's name, he is crying the weight of growing taste. His enemies now this, his friends now this, his own people now this. Every choice he make now affects Brusa, the base, the Alps, the apples, and the future land. He want to teach the imperial standing that Orhan is becoming stronger, that this way he does not want to fight him in a simple way. He does not want to send one army and one wait for a normal battle. Instead, he wants to create pressure from many sides. This is the mind of a rule who now that a young state can be hurt most when it is forced to divide its strength. If Orhan moved toward one front, another front may become weak. If he spoke protects Brusa, the harbor may become dangerous. If he sends a soldier to may attacks for another side. If he focus only on the imperial army, many move freely. This is the trap. The Imperial want Orhan to feel surrounded before the main war even starts. But Orhan's strength is that he does not look at enemy move only from the outside. He tries to understand the purpose behind it. A weak leader sees a army and becomes afraid. A strong leader asks why that army is moving, where is it going, who is supporting it, and what will happen if it reaches its place. Orhan now that war begins before first sword is drawn. It begins when information moves. It begins when spies wished it knew about the army. Living concentrations becomes a turning point. This information gives Orhan a chance to act before the trap closes. The Imperial plan is dangerous because it uses both fear and distance. A large army coming from is it not a military threat, it is also a message. It tells Orhan people that the old power is still strong. It tells a doubtful Bay that the Imperial has not given up. It details tells that his betrayal may have sport. It tells the soldier that the coming battle will not be small. So Orhan must fight not only the army itself but also the fear created by the new of that army. This is one of the hardest part of leadership. A rule must defeat before fear spread among his people makes this danger warriors because he has not standing outside the wall. He is danger from inside the same political world. This makes his more painful. And outside enemy is accepted to attack, but when someone from inside help the enemy with a doubt, it makes loyal men angry, it makes weak men confused, it makes enemies happy. That is way rule in this final stage is so important. He is not just another fighter, he is a symbol of internal weakness. Pride and ambition want power, but his way of reaching power is destructive. He does not build, he breaks. He does not unite, he divides. He does not protect that the future, he risks it for his own anger. This is what makes him dangerous. A man who only wants power may be stopped by losing a battle, but a man blinded by pride can burn everything around him before he fails. Mistake is that he thinks Orhan is has enemy, but in truth is his real enemy is a own ambition. He is not fighting only against Orhan, he is fighting against the unity that can protect the state. The Imperial uses the weakness very cleverly. He knows that if can attack Orhan unity, then the Imperial army will not need to do all the work. This is a common strategy in political war. If you cannot break a strong leader from the one outside, you create decision inside his circle. You make brother doubt each other, you make base question the center, you make people feel that the ruler is losing control. Then when the army arrives, the target is already tried. In Imperial want exactly that. This he want Orhan to face the war with a wounded house, but Orhan answer must be leadership is more interesting now. He must cry the sword in one hand and the scale of justice in other. He must fight enemies, but he must also judge people correctly. He must protect Brusa, but he must not forget the soldier. For from the city, he must listen to advice, but he must also make the final discussion himself. He must keep his heart alive, but he cannot let emotions rule him. These are the things that separate a simple hero from a straight leader. The pain to burn the ship at Horborn showed this change in Orhan. He does not wait for the enemy ships to move. He does not allow the enemy to choose the time and place of war. He decided to attack the enemy plane before the enemy can use it. This is very important. Many leaders lose because they only answer what happened. Orhan want understand that if the ship leave the harbor, the enemy gains movement, confidence and group. They lose the belief that their plan is safe. This kind of discussion needs courage, but not only physical courage, it needs mental courage. Physically courage is when a warrior runs into battle. Mental courage is when a ruler takes a risk that if it fails, his men may die and the man enemy may become stronger. He now that if learns about it, the whole mission may turn into a trap, but he also knows that doing nothing is more dangerous. Sometimes a ruler must choose this risky road because the safe road is only safe for a short time. The Imperial may believe that Orhan will be forced to defend. This is where Orhan can surprise him. A defensive mind wait for the storm, an active mind break the storm before it reach the house. Orhan plan is active. He want to create fear in the enemy camp. He wants the Imperial to understand that Orhan is not sitting in Brusa and waiting. He wants to understand that he cannot hide forever. He wants to want people to see that their ruler is awake, hurt, and ready. This is also a battle of moral. In war, moral can be as powerful as weapon. If soldiers believe they are already trapped, their hand become weak. If soldiers believe their leaders see a way out, their hearts become strong. Orhan must protect the moral of his army. He cannot let new of two arms break them. He cannot let attack make them feel helpless. He must turn danger into determination. He must make the allies feel that they are not walking into defeat but no into a test that will make history remember them. The people of Brusa also need this morale. Brusa is newly important in Orhan world. It is not only a city that has been won, it is a city that must now be held, protected, and turned into strong center. The enemy now that Brusa has emotional and political value. If Brusa becomes afraid, who will state can feel shaken. If Brusa remains calm, it must make the place stable. He must keep the people hopeful. He must make sure that fear does not become stronger than loyalty. In this part of the story, every character become a test for Orhan. Tests his anger. The Imperial test his strategy. Bruce test his responsibility. His soldier test his leadership. His family test his heart. His father memory test his spirit. This is where the final update is full of weight. Orhan is not being tested in one direction. He is being tested from every side. If he survives this test, he will not only win a battle, he will become strong as a ruler. A good ruler must know when to speak and when to stay silent. Orhan's silence can be powerful because it shows control. When enemy make noise, he does not need to answer very cord. When spread out, he does not need to improve himself through anger. He can let his plan speak. This kind of silence is not weakness, it is discipline. It shows that Orhan is not longer a man who reacts to every insult. He is becoming a man who chooses to important of answer. The Imperium may have soldiers, ships, and all power, but Orhan has something different. He has the spirit of a rising state. All power often believe that young power are easy. Rhymes will always be win, but history often change when a young leaders understand the weakness of an old system. Orhan sees that the imperial strength also make him slowly. A large army need road, food, order, and time. Ships need hormones, crew, and preparation. A strong looking plan can still be broken if someone attacks the right point at the right time. This is where the harbor is so important. It may look like only one location, but in the story it becomes the key to the enemy wider plan. If Orhan burns the ship, he does not need to fight then later on open water or near a weaker point. He destroyed their use before they become active. This is smart warfare. A sword fight can show bravery, but destroying the enemy plan show intelligence. Orhan need both, however, may not understand this type of leadership. A man like him often sees power as control over people. He thinks if others fear him or follow him, he is strong. But real strength is not only making others obey. Real strength is making the right decision when everyone is looking at you with fear. Or hence strength grow from responsibility. Strength is only ambition. That is why they are a different. One build our future, the other burns the present. The also create an emotional bond among the loyal people. The Arabs who gave their lives for the state may feel anger when they see a man from inside helping the enemy. Families who lost son may ask why someone would risk the future help for personal pride. The place may be become tense. They may become careful in their word. This is the what does the position the air. It makes even normal conversation feel heavy. Orhan must clean this position through trust and justice. But through it, politicals is not always easy to show. A traitor may hide his action. He may use royal word while doing disloyal work. He may blame others. He may act like a victim. He may say he only wants justice. This is why Orhan needs proof, patience, and sharp eyes. A ruler who cannot see lies will be used. A ruler who sees lies everywhere will become cruel. Orhan must avoid both danger. He must be wise enough to see betrayal and just enough to punish it correctly. The final episode, War Preparation in Brusa, make this pressure strong. When a city prepares for a major battle, every sound becomes meaningful. The sound of horses, the sound of swords begins sharpened, the sound of doors closing, the sound of prayers, the sound of mother speaking to son, all of it becomes part of the same atmosphere. This is not only military preparation, it is emotionally preparation. Everyone now something big is coming. Everyone now the enemy is not far. Everyone now the that is battle. Nothing will feel the same. Orhan must stand above this fear about without becoming distant from the people. A ruler who feels nothing cannot understand his people, but a ruler who feels too much may become command. He must understand the cost but still continue. This balance is very hard. It is what makes leadership. Only may people can advise him, but the final burden sits on his shoulder. The imperial plan to put Orhan between two arms is also a way of attacking his choice. If Orhan chooses one side, the other side becomes dangerous. If he splits his army, both sides may become weaker. If he stay in the center, enemies may closes in. This is a classic trap. Make every option look bad, but a great leader create a new option. Orhan plan to burn the ship is that new option. Instead of choosing only where to defend, he changed the enemy possibilities. He removed one weapon from the enemy's hand before the enemy use it. This is the kind of strategy that can change the whole battle. The imperial expect Orhan to be used to be busy, expect Orhan to be angry. The army expect Orhan to defend, but it Orhan move in a direction they do not accept. The whole plan can shake. Surprise is power because it breaks confidence. A confident enemy is dangerous, but a confused enemy make mistake. Orhan want to create confusion in the enemy camp while building confidence in his own. This is also timing is everything. If Orhan act too early, the enemy may change the plan. If he act too late, the ships may leave. If he send the wrong people, the mission may fail. If he tell too many people, the secret may spread. If he tells too few people, the plan many not have enough support. Leadership is not only choosing the right idea, it is also choosing the right time, the right people, and the right level of sorcery. In this situation, Orhan must be careful like a hunter and brave like a warrior. The elapsed chosen for such a mission must be loyal beyond doubt. This is not a mission for people who only want glory. This is a mission for people who understand sacrifices. They may not run, they will not be prized in public, they may have to move in silence. This movement because they show that victory in never the work of one man alone. Orhan may create the plan, but loyal hearts carry it forward. At the same time, Orhan must not forget the emotional problem inside the place. The final update also skip about Fatma and versus Aproka, Halima and Darsan. These personal stories are not separate from the main war. They show what our does not people. They show that every political decision enters the heart of families. Fatma and involved entry story brings hope after pain, and Aproka tension show that world wounds do not heal quickly. Halima fear about Darsan show that love in this world always stand near close. These stories make Orhan as duty heavier because he is not only leading soldier, he is leading people with broken heart. A ruler must understand that the place is also a battlefield. No every field battle has sword. Some battles happen through words, silence, jealousy, grief, and pride. If the place become divided, the enemy outside becomes stronger. If the women of the place loses trust in each other, all burdens can become political problem. If love stories become full of equation, families may break. Orhan must protect the house and much as he protect the bird. A strong state needs a strong heart inside. Anger toward Aproka after the news about Define adds another layer is to tension. This is not only personal anger, it is grief cooking for a direction. When someone loses a loved one, pain often turns into blame. May see Aproka as the face of that pain. More complicated, this creates a storm between them. One Orhan must understand this storm carefully. If he ignores it, it may grow. If he interferes too harshly, it may become worse. This is another example of leadership outside the battlefield. Fatma and Inwards story gives a softer but still powerful contrast. Their reunion and hope show that even during war, life still want to continue. Love does not stop because rhymes move. Hope does not stop because scenes can feel emotionally. The audience need to see that the people are not only fighting to survive but also to alive. There is difference. Survival is breathing, living is loving, trusting, marrying, building, forgiving and dreaming. Orhan state must make space for life, not only war. Halima fear about Darsan begins the cost of conflict closer to heart. When a person waits for someone they love, every price of new can become a want. In war, uncertainty can be painful as bad news. Not knowing whether someone is alive or dead can break the heart slowly. This kind of remind Vivius that Orhan must come become the center of calm in this storm. If he shakes, other will shake more. If he stands firm, other may find cause. This is the power of leadership. People do not only listen to a ruler word, they watch his face, they watch his steps, they watch whether his voice trembles, they watch whether his eyes show fear. Orhan must carry himself in a way that tells everyone the danger is great but we are not broken. The Imperial and may think they can use pressure to break Orhan, but pressure can also create strength. A sword becomes sharp because it meets fear and hammer. Orhan leadership is also beginning shaped by fear and pressure. Every enemy makes him more careful. This does not mean he become cold, it means become deeper. A leader who has suffered understand the price of peace better than a leader who has only won comfort. This behavior can see this growth if the script explain it clearly. Orhan greatness is not betrayal. He learns not to trust blindly. When he see fear, he learns to give hope. When he see enemy strategy, he learns to think early. When he sees love stories suffering, he learns that the state protect her to this growth make him a more complete rule. Now let us look more deeply at the Imperial. The Imperial fear of Orhan is hidden behind action. He may look confident, he may give order, he may speak like a man in control, but need such a big plan? Why does he need to arrive? Because he now Orhan is not easy to defeat. When an old power uses complicated traps against a rising leader, it means the rising leader has become dangerous. The Imperial may not say this open, but this is plan proves it. The Imperial mistake may be that he seen Orhan only as a military problem. He may think if he traps Orhan, the Ottoman rise can be slowed or stopped, but Orhan is more than one man with a sword. He is becoming the face of a wider movement. He is people believe in a future. His soldier believe in a case. His family creates a memory. His state stronger. The emperor want to cut the branch. Orhan must protect the roots. Mistake is different. He thinks his personal ambition make can become political truth. He may believe that if he fights Orhan, he is fighting for a own right, but a man personal pain does not give him the right to anger everyone. This is the line he crossed. He allow ambition to become betrayal. Once that happens, his word lost value. He may still speak of honor, but his actions stand against honor. He may speak of justice, but this choice creates injustice. This is where his ending must feel like the result of his own discussion, not only Orhan punishment. In this section, we should make the audience understand that Orhan and are two different paths. Orhan path is duty, path is ego. Orhan thinks about the future, thinks about his own place. Orhan cries pain silently, turns pain into fire against Orhan. Orhan builds unity, breaks it. It contrast makes their conflict stronger. It is not only about who wins, it is about which kind of leadership survive. The idea of state is very important here. A tribe can survive through bravery and loyalty, but a state need more. It need order, it needs justice, it needs strategy, it needs discipline, it needs leader who can think beyond today. Orhan is moving from the world of tribe political into the world of state political. That change is difficult because old habits remain. Some people still think like local rebels, some think only about their own power, some do not understand that unity must be strong now. Orhan must teach this through action. Running these ships in this is not only a warplane, it is also an announcement of statement. It said that Orhan can think beyond a direct light. It say he understands supply movement timing and fear. It say he is not only a brave boy but a strategic ruler. This is where the pen is important for his character. It proves that he can use intelligence as much. A cause a state cannot rise only by brave charges. It rises through careful move that awaken the enemy before the main battle. The coming battle against the imperial and also show that Orhan must fight two kind of darkness. The imperial represent outside pressure, represent the inside corruption. If Orhan defeats only the imperial but leaves inside, the danger will return. If he defeats only but ignore the imperial, enemy will grow. He must deal with both. This is where the final episode feels like a complete test. It is not enough to win one side. He must clean the inside and define the outside. The elapse around Orhan will also have important rules. Loyal allies are more than soldiers and keep the spirit of the army alive in a dangerous plan like Hormone trust is more valuable than numbers. One loyal man can be worth more than troubled man. Orhan must know who can carry the mission without fear, without pride, and without losses. What this ability to choose people is a major part of leadership. A ruler who chooses the wrong people loses even with a good plan. A ruler who chooses the right people may survive even with limited resources. This is why Orhan must read hearts as well as maps. He must know which man is brave but careless, which Man is quiet but strong, which man want glory and which man want duty. The Hormone mission cannot be given to glory seekers. It must be given to people who understand silence. Sometimes the most important victory is won by people who do not ask to be seen. The audience should feel this tension. They should feel that Orhan is not only playing a battle, he is selecting trust, he is placing lives in the hand of other lives, he is creating interesting because it turns strategy into emotions. The plan is not just on paper, it lives through people. At the same time, the Imperial may have his own spice. This makes the situation even more dangerous if the enemy learns heavily fake shifts may be prepared. The enemy may have changed direction, may try to use because this section should always remind because Waves that Orhan's story is tied to Usman Bey dream, but it is not only a copy of Usman's story. Usman Bey opened the road. Orhan must travel further on it. Usman Bey fought to establish a foundation. Orhan must turn that foundation into wider order. This means Orhan tests are different. He must deal with sides, ports, alliances, internal politicals, and large imperial plans. His world is bigger, so his leadership must also become bigger. The imperial learned from show this bigger word. Constitution is not only just a name, it represents all power, all wall, all pride, and a long history of rule. When an army moves from there, it tries the weight of that word. Orhan answer must show that a new power is rising. The old world say we still rule. Orhan move must show say you are time of easy control is ending. The conflict gives the story a grand feeling that the shapes are horror add another layer because they bring to sea into the story. Land battles are one thing, sea movement create different danger. Ship can move soldiers, supplies and surprises attacks. They can move open road that land arrives cannot use easily. If Orhan stops the ships, he stops a whole line of movement. This is where the Horban plan is not small, it is a strategic cut. It is cutting the enemy search. Maybe believe that the imperial sport makes him strong, but the sport also exposes his weakness. A leader who needs the enemy to find his own people has already lost moral ground. This is where betrayal always cries shame, even when it seems useful for a short time, may gain temporary advantages, but the losses honor. Orhan may face danger, but he keeps legitimacy in the long run is stronger than temporary advantages. People may fear a traitor for a movement, but they do not build a future around him. This is a key point for the script. Orhan's true power is not only his army, it is the belief that he is the rightful center of order. If people believe that Orhan stands for justice, unity, and the future, they will follow him through hardship. If they see as a man of pride and that they may fear them, but they will not trust him. Trust is not real currency of leadership. Once lost, it is very hard to regain. The final battle preparation in Brusa can show this trust. When Orhan gives older people move when he speaks, soldier listen when he sits. a plan. Loyal man accept danger. This is not automatic. It is earned. Orhan has earned it through struggle, pain, and action. The more dangerous the movement becomes, the more important trust becomes in calm times. Everyone can pretended loyalty in dangerous times. True loyalty reveals itself. This is also the more moment where hidden enemies may reveal themselves. War pushes people to choose sides. Someone who were silent may become brave. Some who seemed loyal may become weak. Someone is way final episode after feel powerful. They gather all hidden tension and forces them into the open. Orhan world is now reaching such a moment makes cannot stay on forever. A strong script should build this feeling steps by step. It should not only say there will be a war, it should explain why the war matters. It should show that the imperial wants what is Orhan and what is the people who lost. When the audience understands and stakes, every silence become more meaningful because a burning ship is not a visual scene action. It becomes the defines of a future. A reunion is not only romance, it becomes proof that life still survives under war. Now let us turn this into a more direction narration style for the video. Friends, the latest update Krulis Orhan has shown us that Sultan Orhan is entered the hardest test of his rule. Until now, he has faced enemy betrayal, family tension, and difficult choice. But now all these dangers are coming coming together at the same time. The imperial is preparing a strong move, is attacking from the inside. Brusa is preparing for a major war. The place is full of emotional bond, and Orhan must stand in the center of all this without losing his direction. The imperial and think they have found the right time to strive. They believe Orhan is busy. They believe the state is under pressure. They believe the place is not fully calm. They believe the soldier can be shaken, but this may be their biggest mistake because Orhan is most dangerous when enemies think he is trapped. He does not look at the trap and surrender. He studies it. He looks for the weak point, then he attacks. The new of the army leaving change the whole game. This is not a small army moving in secret. This is a serious move from the old power. It showed that the Imperial want to crush Orhan before his state become even strong, but Orhan receives the new and immediately begins to think. He understands that if the army and the ships join the wider plan, the war will become very difficult. So he decides to stop the ship before they leave Harbor. This is the move that can change everything. Brusa, the ship is not only burning, destroying wood, it is about destroying the enemy confidence. It is about telling the imperial your plan is not hidden from me. It is about telling your betrayal will not guide the future. It is about telling the soldier we are not waiting for that, we are making for waking for our own path. This is way Orhan plan is so powerful, but the mission is dangerous. The harbor will not be empty. The enemy will not be sleeping without guard. If every steps can expose the explain, every shadow can hide danger, every delay can destroy the mission. Orhan need men who are not only brave but also silent, disciplined, and loyal. This is not only mission for these who want fame. This is a mention for those who are ready to disappear into danger for the sake of the state. At the same time, makes every secret more risky. If he alarms the plan, he may warm the emperor. If he move at the right time, he may trap Orhan man. If he spread false news, he may confusion the enemy. That is way Orhan must act with great care. He cannot trust every smiling face. He cannot speak every thoughts openly. He must protect the plan until the fire rise from the harbor. This show you us the real burden of hardship. Leadership many people Leadership means growing outside order, but real leadership means crying the result of those orders. If the mission succeeds, the state may be saved from a major danger. If it fails, loyal man may die. Orhan must live with the weight. He must suspend people into danger while knocking. They may not return. This is why a ruler heart is never light, does not understand this burden in the same way. He wants power, but he does not cry responsibility. He wants influences, but he does not protect unity. He wants to stand above or others, but he is already to damage the every house he want to rule. This is the difference between him and Orhan may make hard discussion, but his goal is the survival of the state. Goal is his own rise on one thinks of tomorrow. The other is trapped in his own pride. The Imperial is clever enough to use this pride. He now that can awaken Orhan from one inside. He now that can do what enemies sometimes cannot. A sword we want to body, but wants trust, and when trust is wanted, even strong people begin to doubt. This is where Orhan must act quickly but also wisely. He must stop the enemy outside, they remove the poison inside. In Rusa, the people feel the coming storm. The city has been joy, reunion, fear, and preparation. Fatma and inwards bring a ray of hope, and Aproka bring tension and all pain. Halima faces the fear of losing Dursan. His soldier prepare for a war. The place prepares for difficult news. All these stories are happening under the same shadow, the shadow of a battle that may decide the next phase of Orhan rule. This is where Brusa is not only a background, Brusa is not heart of the story. If Brusa stand firm, Orhan dreams stand firm. If Brusa walls into fear, the enemy gains strength without even entering the city. Orhan must protect the wall, but they must also protect the heart inside the wall. A city can be strong in stone, but weak in spirit. Orhan must make sure Brusa is strong in both. The emotional stories inside Brusa also remind us that every war has a human cost. Fatma and inverts are not just side characters, their pain and hope show that what people are fighting for. Anger show how grief can turn into fear. A proca position should how difficult it is to stand in a palace full of space. Halima fear show the suffering of those who wait. These stories make the main war more meaningful because they show that Orhan is not protecting an empty land, he is protecting people with love, pain, and dream. A ruler who forgot this becomes cruel. A ruler who remember only this and forgets strategy becomes weak. On her must remember both. He must know the heart of the people, but he must also read the movement of rhymes. He must care about family wounded, but he cannot preparing for a war. He must comfort the palace, but he must also command a battlefield. This balance is what makes his leadership strong. The final episode is more important because it can show Orhan becoming fully ready to next stage. He is new target after victory is also meaningful. A ruler who wins one battle and stops there is not building history. Orhan is always looking forward to the next step. This does not mean he is greedy. It means the understanding that a state must keep moving if it want to survive. If it becomes still, enemies gathered around it. If it move with wisdom, it creates its own future. The move toward in the previous update already showed that Orhan easy eyes are on bigger goal. He now that controlling key palace can change the blame balance of power. He now that roads, castle, he and hills and cities are not separate pieces. They are connected. One move opens another move. One victory prepares another victory. This is the mind of founder. He does not only to today battle, he seems tomorrow map. The Imperial also see this and stable. If his people remain united, then the all power is fighting the Orhan of tomorrow. He want to stop the future before it becomes too powerful. This gives the story a strong historical feeling, but story historical does not move only through powerful imperial. Sometimes he moves through a leader who refused to accept the limits placed on him. Orhan represent that kind of movement. The old word says small. Orhan small says will we will grow. The old words say you cannot challenge us. Orhan say we will choose our own road. The old words say you are surrounded. Orhan say then I will break the circle. This is where the image of two arrives surrounded. Orhan is no powerful. It is not only a military situation. It is symbol. It is show the all power trying to close the road of the new state, but Orhan plan show that the road is not closed as long as the mind remains open. A trap is only completely when the trapped person stop thinking. Orhan does not stop thinking. He creates a new moves. Ending will also be important. The audience will want just justice. They will want to see that has a price, but the best ending for should not feel like only punishment from outside. It should feel like the natural results of his own choice. He burns bridge, lost trust, stand with the wrong side, and finally faces the emptiness of ambition. This kind of ending is stronger because it teaches a lesson. The lesson is clear. A man who is a one people for power may gain a movement, but he loses his place in his future. Or her response to must show his maturity. If he act only with anger, win a small way because he pulls Orhan down to his level, but it Orhan acts with justice, then Orhan rises higher. This does not mean he should be weak. Justice can be strong, mercy can be wise, but mercy without wisdom becomes danger. Punishment can be necessary, but punishment without justice becomes cruelty. Orhan must chosen the path that protects the state and proves his fairness. The people need to see that Orhan is not only strongest against outside enemies, they need to see that he is fair inside his own house. A ruler who can defeat an imperial but cannot control face the outside will also fail. Orhan must do both. This is where his task is so difficult and so important. The final battle may also show the unity of different groups under Orhan. The Allies, the Bay, the the place, and the people must stand together. This unity is the real answer to the imperial alliance can be counted, but ununity cannot be measured easily. A small army with strong unity can stand against a bigger army with weak belief. The imperial may bring numbers, but Orhan must bring purpose. Or her purpose is what give courage to tried man. When Orhan speaks before battle, his words should not only be about victory, they should be about why the battle matters. He should remind them that they were once a people looking for a homeland and now they are becoming a state. He should remind them that every sword raised today protects the children of tomorrow. He should remind them that the enemy does not only want land but want to break their wall. Will he should remind them that fear is natural but surrender is not their path. This kind of speech can make the final episode memorable. A good battle speech does not need complicated words, it needs trust, it needs heart, it needs a leader who speaks from the weight of his own journey. Once can speak about Orhan Bey, dream Brusa, value the betrayal they have faced and the future may must protect. If the word came from real pain and real belief, the soldier will feel them. After that, the action can move toward the horrible. The night can become silent, the man can move the shadow, the ships can stand in dark waiting for morning. They will never see that bird. Final episode become important. It can show Orhan becoming fully ready for the next stage. His new target after victory is also meaningful. A rule who wins one battle. Next stage, his new target after victory is also meaningful. A rule who wins one battle and stop where there is not building history. Orhan is always looking toward the next step. This does not mean he is greedy. It means understand that a state must keep moving if it want to survive. If it becomes still enemies gathered around it, if it moves with wisdom, it creates its own future. The move toward in the previous update already showed that Orhan eyes are no bigger goals. He now that controlling key place changing the balance of power. He now that road cast blessed hills and cities are not separate pieces, they are connected. One move opens another move, one victory prepare another victory. This is the mind of a founder. He does not only see today battle, he see tomorrow map. The Imperial also sees this and that is why he want to stop Orhan now. If Orhan gains more strength, if Rusak becomes stable, if his people remain united, then the old powers will face greater danger later. The Imperial is not only fitting fighting the Orhan of today, he he powerful the gives the story a stronger historical feeling, but story history does not move only thought powerful imperial. Sometimes it moves through a leader who refuses to accept the limits placed on him. Orhan represent that kind of movement that all words say stay small. Orhan say will grow. The old world say you cannot challenge us. Orhan say we will choose our own road. The old world say you are surrounded. Orhan say then I will break the circle. This is where the image of two rhymes surrounded Orhan is so powerful. It is not only military situation, it is a symbol. It has the old powers trying to close the road of the new state, but Orhan plans show that the road is not closed as long as the mind open. A trap is only complete when the trapped person stops thinking. Orhan does not stop thinking, he create a new move. Ending will also be important. The audience will want justice, they will want to be that has a price, but the best ending for should not feel like only punishment from outside. It should feel like the natural results of his own choice. Her burns bridge loses trust, stands with the wrong side, and finally faces the emptiness of ambition. This kind of ending is stronger because it teaches a lesson. The lesson is clear: a man who is one people for power may gain a movement, but he lost his place in future. Orhan response to must show his maturity. If he act only with anger, wins in a small way because he pulls Orhan down his level. But if Orhan act with justice, then Orhan rises higher. This does not mean he should be weak. Justice can be strong, mercy can be wise, but mercy without wisdom becomes stronger. Danger, punishment can be necessary, but punishment without justice becomes cruelty. Orhan must choose the path that protects the state and proves his fairness. The people need to see that Orhan is not only strong against outside enemies, they need to see that he is fair inside his own house, a ruler who can defeat an inferior but cannot control inside will always face new cracks. A ruler who controls the inside but cannot face the outside will also fail. Orhan must do both. This way his test is so difficult and so important. The final battle may also show that the unity of different groups under Orhan the elapsed, the way, the place, and the people must stand together. This unity is the real answer to imperial rhymes can be counted, but unity cannot be measured easily. A small army with strong unity can stand against a bigger army with weak belief. The imperial may bring number, but Orhan must bring purpose. Purpose is what gives courage to tired man. When Orhan speaks before battle, his words should not only be about victory, they should be about why the battle matters. He should remind them that they were once people looking for a homeland and now they are becoming a state. He should remind that every sword raised today protects the children of tomorrow. He should remind them that the enemy does not only want land but want to break their will. He should remind them that fear is natural but surrender is not their path. This kind of speech can make the final episode memorable. A God battle speech does not complicated words. It needs truth. It needs heart. It needs a leader who speaks from the weight of his own journey. Orhan can speak about Osman Bey, dream Brusa, value the matrix, the betrayal they have faced, and the future they must protect. If the words come from real pain and real belief, the soldiers will feel them. After that, the action can move toward the horrible. The night can become silent. The man can move like shadow. The chips can stand in the dark, waiting for the morning they will never see. The guard can walk without knowing that history is moving near them. The touch can stay hidden until the right movement. Every step can feel dangerous. Every breath can feel loud. This is the kind of scene that can make viewers hold their breath when the fire begins. It should feel like only action. It should feel like the enemy plan burning flames rising over Cressy Harbor can become a sign that Oran has entered the enemy mind and broken it. Then the soldier of the Imperial may panic, may understand that Oran was not as trapped as he believed. Oran among people may hear the news and feel hope. One fire can change many hearts, but the story should not make victory too easy. The enemy should react, God should attack, Alap's should be tested, someone may be wounded, someone may have to stay behind, someone may have to choose between saving a friend and completing the mission. This choice make action meaningful. It everything happens easily. The sense loses power. The audience must feel the cost of. Orhan may not be physically present in every part of the mission, but his mind is present. This is what leadership means. A ruler's plan can move through the hand of his men. If those men trust him, they become part of his will. If they success, his leadership is proven. If they suffer, is burden grown. This connection between ruler and loyal followers is one of the main emotional strength of ruler style story. Back in Brusa, the waiting can be just as tense as the mission itself. People may not know whether the plan has worked. The players may wait for new Fatma, Ivrons, Halima, Aproka, and others may carry their own fear. Orhan may appear calm, but inside he may be continuing every possible danger. Waiting is something harder than fighting because there is nothing to streak. There is only time, and time can feel like an enemy. When new comes, the whole city can change. If the ship burns, hope rises. If someone fall, grief comes with hope. This is realistic in such stories. Victory rarely arrives alone. It often brings losses beside it. It takes the victory deeper. People celebrate, but they also remember the price. Orhan must honor the sacrifices. A ruler who forgot the fallen, who loses the love of living. The next stage would be facing the Aramites, directly burning the ship, awaken the enemy, but it does not end all danger. The Imperial still has ambition, still has anger. The battlefield still waits. Orhan's first move may break the enemy balance, but he must still complete the struggle. This keeps the final episode exciting because one success leads to another challenge. The Imperial may become more dangerous after losing the ships. A wounded enemy can make desperate move. He may attack faster, he may punish his own man, he may push to take bigger risk. Orhan must prepare for this. A smart leader now that success can create a new danger. After striking the enemy, he must not become careless. He must accept a response. May also become reckless of Orhan plan success. Pride will be wounded. A pride man in pain often makes foolish choice. He may rush into battle, he may expose himself, he may try to prove that he is still strong. This could become Orhan's chance to defeat him fully. Sometimes the best way to catch a traitor is to let his own anger pull him out of hiding. This is where Orhan must remain even after success. He cannot celebrate too early. He cannot chase every emotional reaction. He must use the enemy panic. He must watch where moves next. He must weak the Imperial changes direction. He must keep his army ready. The difference between a good leader and a great leader is what he does after he first success. A good leader win a movement. A great leader turns that movement into a larger victory. In the final war, Orhan army should feel united because of everything they have passed through. The place, pain, the enemy pressure, and the memory of Usman may all come together. This gives the battle emotional force. The soldiers are not fighting only because they were ordered. They are fighting because they understand what is at stake. This understanding makes these stronger. The imperial soldier may fight for order, fear, or payment. Men may fight for ambition, anger, or confusion. Orhan men fight for a cause. This difference matter. A cause can keep men standing when fear rises. It can make them endure hunger, wants, and exaggerations. It can turn ordinary people into people remembered by history. This is what Orhan must awaken in them. The script should also show that Orhan leadership does not move pain, it gives pain direction. The people still suffer, the soldiers still risk that the place still carries grief, but under Orhan leadership, their pain becomes part of a greater purpose. Without leadership, pain becomes chores. With leadership, pain becomes sacrifices. This is a powerful idea for the audience. A stronger paragraph for this part could be Sultan Orhan does not promise his people an easy road. He cannot promise that no one will fall. He cannot promise that every heart will be protected from grief, but he can promise that their pain will not wasted. He can promise that every sacrifices will become stone in a foundation of the state. He can promise that enemy will not write their future. This is the kind of promise that make people follow a leader through life. This section can now move toward the deeper meaning of the conflict. The mirror imperial and both want to control the future, but their method are different from Orhan. The Imperial want control through faces, wants control through and personal ambition. Orhan want order through unity, justice and vision. These three roads meet in the final episode. Only on can shape the future. If the Imperial win, the all power closes the road. If wins internal ambition, destroy unity. If Oran wins, the state move forward. This is the way. The final conflict not equal. It is not simple three men fighting for power. It is three idea fighting for the future. Force and duty. The story clearly plays Orhan won the side of duty. That is why the audience fought him. The emotional story can Brusa help Orhan understand this when he see people suffer because of betrayal and why he know that political mistakes are not only political, they hurt real live out maybe begin in a secret room but it end in mothers crying, soldiers dying and lovers separating. This is why betrayal cannot treated lightly. It is only not a personal insult to Orhan, it is a word to be people. At the same time, Orhan must make sure his justice does not become revenge. Revenge looks backward. Justice protect the future. Revenge say if you hurt me, so I will hurt you. Justice say you endangers the people, so you must be stopped. This difference is important. Orhan must stand over justice. If he does not become stronger than his enemies because his strength has moral ground. The final episode possible new target also show that Orhan does not plan to stop after surviving the trap. This is important for the future of the story. A leader who only reacts to enemy will always be controlled by them. Orhan wants to set the direction himself. After defeating the trap, he can choose the next goal. This means he is not only surviving history, he is shaping it. That is a major step in his development. His eye toward larger targets also show confidence, but confidence must not become arrogance. Orhan's strength is that he learns from danger. He now enemy remain he responsibility, so his next target should feel like a discussion made with wisdom, not pride. He must move forward because the state needs it, not because his ego demanded. This separation him again from Orhan expands for the future of the state, fights for his own wounded pride. The imperial move to protect all control, Orhan moves to create new order. The audience should understand this difference clearly. It makes the conflict more meaningful and less respective. Now let us continue our final strong narration style for this section. As the final battle comes closer, Sultan Orhan stands at the center of the storm created by enemies by sharpened by the Imperial believes he can trap Orhan between them. Forget that Orhan has learned from everyone. He has learned that an enemy's strength can become weakness if attacked at the right time. He has learned that betrayal can expose if patience is stronger than anger. He has learned that a state is not protected only with sword but with intelligence and unity and justice. This is way Orhan plan against the ship is more than a military move. It is a lesson to his enemies. The lesson is that Orhan will not fight only where they want him to fight. He will not wait only three they want him to wait. He will not be trapped by the map they wrote. If the enemy prepares ships, he will reach the harbor. If hides inside, he will bring it into the light. This is the mightiest of a rule. Who is ready for a bigger destiny? The people around him may feel fear, but fear does not mean defeat. For becomes defeat only when it controls the heart. Orhan takes to is take the fear of people and he must make them feel that their specifics have meaning. He must make them see that the enemy plan is not stronger than their unity. In this part of Police Orhan leadership becomes the main weapon. Yes, sword will shift, horses will run, fire will rise, rhymes will clash, but behind all of that, the real weapon is leadership. Without a small force can become history. Orhan leadership is what connects the people, the lives, the palace, and the dreams of the future. The imperial plan is powerful, but it has a weakness. It depends on Orhan reacting in the expected way. Betrayal is dangerous, but it has a weakness. It depends on accepted way of success. Without leadership, an army has become is only a crowd. With leadership. Even elapsed the palace can dream. Confuse expectations by standing firm. He stopped confusion by choosing justice. He protect unity. This is a key point for the script. Orhan's true power is not only his army, it is the belief that he is the rightful center of order. If people believe that Orhan stands for justice and unity and the future, they will follow him through hardship. If they see as a man of pride, and they may fear him, but they will not trust him. Trust is the real currency of leadership. Once lost, it is very hard to regain. The final battle preparation in Brusa can show this trust. When Orhan gives order, people move. When he speaks, soldier listen. When he sees a plan, loyal man accept danger. This is not automatic. It is earned. Orhan has learned it through struggle, pain, and action. The more dangerous the movement becomes, the more important trust becomes. In calm times, everyone can pretended loyalty. In dangerous times, the true loyalty relieves itself. This is also the movement where hidden enemies may reveal themselves. War pushes people to choose sides. Some who were silent may become brave, some who seemed loyal may become weak, some who were doubtful may finally understand the truth. This is final episode often feel powerful. They gather all hidden tension and force them into the open. Orhan word is now reaching such a movement makes cannot stay on forever. A strong script should be build this feeling step by step. It should not only easy there will be a war. It should explain the war matters. It should show what the imperial wants, what Orhan wants, and what the people may lose. The audience understand the takes every sense become the more meaningful. A burning ship is not only a visual scan, it becomes the burning of an enemy plan. A sword fight is not only action, it becomes the defense of our future. Our reunion is not only romance, it becomes proof that life still survive under war. No, now let us turn this into a more direction narration style of the video. Friends, the latest update of Police Oran has shown us the Sultan Orhan is entering the hardest test of his rule. Until now, he has faced enemy, family tension, and difficult choice, but now all these dangers are coming together at the same time, preparing for a major war. The place is full of emotional want, and Orhan must stand in the center of all this without losing his direction. The Emperor and think they have found the right time to strive. They believe Orhan is busy, they believe the state is under pressure. They believe the place is not fully claimed. They believe the soldiers can be shaken, but this may be their biggest mistake because Orhan is most dangerous when enemy think he is trapped. He does not look at the trap and surrender. He studies it. He look for the weak point, then he attacks that a weak point before the enemy understand what is happening. The new of the army living change the whole game. This is not on a small army moving in secret. This is a serious move from the old power. It shows that the Imperial want to crush Orhan before his create state become even stronger, but Orhan receives the new and immediately begins to think. He understands that if the army and the ships join the wonder plan, the war will become very difficult. So he decides to stop the ship before they leave harbor. This is the move that can change everything. Burning the ships is not only about destroying wood, it is about destroying the enemy confidence. It is about telling the Imperial, your plan is not hidden from me. It is about telling your betrayal will not guide the future. It is about telling the soldiers we are not waiting for that. We are making our own path. This is way Orhan plan is so powerful, but the mission is dangerous. The harbor will not be empty. The enemy will not be sleeping without guard. Every step can expose the plan. Every shadow can hide danger. Every delay can destroy the mansion. Because movement is the hormone will not empty. The enemy will not be sleeping without guard. This is not a mission for those who want to fame. This is a mission for those who are ready to disappear into danger for the sake of the state. At the same time, every secret more risky. If he learn the plan, he may warn the Emperor. If he moves at the right time, he may trap Orhan man. If this spreads false news, he may confusion the army. That is way Orhan must act with great care. He cannot trust every smiling face. He cannot speak every thought openly. He must protect the plan until the fire rises from the harbor. This shows us the real burden of leadership. May people think leadership many means giving order, but real leadership means crying the result of those orders. If the mention success, the state may be saved from a major danger. If it falls, man may die. Orhan must live with that weight. He must send people into danger while knowing they may not return. This is way rule heart is never light, does not understand his this burden in the same way he wants power, but he does not cry responsibility. He wants influence, but he does not protect until he wants to stand above other, but he is ready to damage the every house he wants to rule. Goal is the survivor of the state. Goal is has a one risk. One thinks of tomorrow, the other is trapped in a one pride. The emperor is clever enough to use this pride. He now that can awaken Orhan from inside. He now that can do what rhymes sometimes cannot. A sword can wound the body, but wounds trust, and when trust is wounded, even strong people began to doubt. This is way Orhan must act quickly, but also wisely. He must stop the enemy outside and remove the poison inside. In Brusa, the people feel the coming from the city has seen joy, reunion, fear, and separation. Fatima and inwards bring a ray of hope, and Aproka bring tension, and all plan. Halima faces the fear of losing Darsan, the soldiers prepare for war, the place prepares for difficult news. All these stories are happening under the same shadow, the shadow of a battle that may decide the next page of Orhan rule. This is way Brusa is not only a background, Brusa is the heart of the story. Brusa stand plan Halima affects the fear of losing Darsan. The soldier prepare for war. The place prepare for difficult news. All these stories are happening under the same shadow, the shadow of battle that may decide the next page of Orhan rule. This is the way Brusa is not only background, Brusa is the heart of the story. If Brusa stand firm, Orhan dream stand firm. If Brusa falls into fear, he enemy gains strength without even entering the city. Orhan must protect the wall, but he must also protect the heart inside the wall. A city can be strong in story, in stone, but weak in spirit. Orhan must make sure Brusa is strong in both. The emotional story inside Brusa also reminds us that every war has a human cost. Fatma and Inverse are not just side characters. Their pain and hope show that what people show how difficult it is not stand in a place full of suspension. Halima fears show the suffering of those who wait. Those this story make the main war more meaningful because they show that Orhan is not protecting an empty land. He is protecting people with love, pain, and dream. A ruler who forgets the this becomes cruel. A ruler who remembers only this and forgets strategy becomes weak. Orhan must remember both. He must know the heart of the people, but the same must also read the movement of rhymes. He must care about family, won't he? But he cannot stop preparing for war. He must comfort the place, but he must also command the battlefield. This is balance is what makes his leadership strong. The final episode is important because it can show Orhan becoming fully ready for the next stage. His new target after victory is also meaningful. A ruler who wins one battle and stop there is not building history. Orhan is always looking toward the next steps. This does not mean he is greedy. It means he understands that a state must keep moving if it want to survive. If it becomes still enemy gathered around it, if he moves with wisdom, it creates its own future. The move toward and the previous update already showed that Orhan I are on bigger goal. He now that controlling key place, changing the balance of power. He now that road, castles, hills, and cities are not separate species. They are connected. On one move opens another move. One victory prepares another victory. This is the mind of founder. He does not only see today battle, he see tomorrow map. The Imperial also sees this, and that is way he want to stop Orhan now. If Orhan gains more strength, if Brusa becomes stable, if his people remain united, then the old powers will face a greater danger. Later, the Imperial is not only fighting the Orhan of today, he is fighting the Orhan of tomorrow. He wants to stop the future before it becomes too powerful. This gives the story a strong historical feeling, but historical does not move only through powerful imperial. Sometimes it moves through a leader who refuses to accept the limits placed on him or represent that kind of movement. The old world says stay small, Orhan say we will grow. The old world say you cannot challenge us. Orhan say we will choose our own road. The old world say you are surrounded. Orhan say then I will break the circle. This is where the image of two arrives. Surrounded Orhan is so powerful. It is not only a military situation, it is a symbol. It is show the old powers trying to close the road of the new state, but Orhan plans show that the road is not closed as long as the mind remain open. A trap is only complete when the trapped person stop thinking. Orhan does not stop thinking. He create a new move. Ending will also be important. The audience will want justice. They will want to see the betrayal has a price. But the best ending for should not feel like only punishment from outside. It should feel like the natural results of his own choice of ambition. This kind of ending is stronger because it teaches a lesson. The lesson is clear. A man who his own people for power may gain a movement, but he lost his place in the future. Orhan response to must show his maturity. If he act only with anger, wins in a small way because he pulls Orhan down to his level. But if Orhan act with justice, then Orhan rises anger. This does not mean he should be weak. Justice can be strong. Mercy can be wise, but mercy without wisdom becomes danger. Punishment that the path that protects the state and proves his fairness. The people need to see that Orhan is not only strong against outside enemy, they need to see that is fair inside his own house. A rule who can defeat an imperial but cannot control battle inside will always face new cracks. A ruler who controls the inside but cannot face the outside will also fail. Orhan must do both. This is why his test is so difficult and so important. The final battle may also show the unity of different groups under Orhan. The Alps, the Babe, the place, and the people must stand together. This is unity. This is unity, the real answer to the imperial alliance, can be continued, but unity cannot be measured easily. A small army with strong unity can stand against a bigger army with weak belief. The imperial may bring in number, but Oran must bring purpose. Purpose is what gives courage to tired men. When Orhan speaks before battle, his words should not only be about victory, they should be about why the battle matters. He should remind them that they were once a people looking for a homeland and now they are becoming a state. He should remind them that the enemy does not only want land but want to break their well. He should remind them that fear is natural but surrender is not their part. This kind this kind of speech can make the final episode memorable. A good battle speech does not need complicated words. It needs truth. It needs heart. It needs a leader who speak from the weight of his own journey. Orhan can speak about Osman Bey, dream of Brusa value, the mystery, the betrayal. they have faced and the future they must protect. If the world came from real pain and real belief, the soldier will feel them. After that, the action can move toward the harbor, the night can become silent, the man can move like shadow, the ships can stand in the dark waiting for the morning. The torch can stay hidden until the right movement. Every step can feel dangerous, every breath can feel loud. This is the kind of sense that can make warriors hold their breath. When the fire begins, it should not feel like only action, it should feel like the enemy plane, burning flames rising over Hormone can become a sign that Orhan has entered the enemy mind and broken it. The soldier of the Empire may panic, may understand that Orhan was not as trapped as he believed. Orhan warned people may hear the new and feel hope. One fear can change many hearts, but the story should not make victory too easy. The enemy should react, guard should attack, loyal allies should be tested. Someone may be wounded, someone may have to stay behind, someone may have to choose between saving a friend and completing the mission. This choice make action meaningful of everything. Happiness easily the sense loses power. The audience must feel the cost of success. Orhan may not be physically present in every part of the mission, but his mind is present. These present whose men trust him, they become a part of his will. If they success, if leadership is proven, if they suffer, his burden grows. This connection between ruler and loyal followers is one of the main emotional strength of Crowley's style stories. Back in Brusa, the waiting can be just as tense as the mission itself. People may not know whether the pain has worked. The place may wait for and Fatma, Ivanes, Halima, Aproka and others may carry their own fears. Orhan may appear calm, but inside he may be counting every possible danger. Waiting is sometimes harder than fighting because there is nothing to streak, there is only time, and time can feel like an enemy. When new comes, the whole city can change. If the ships burn, hope rise. If some man fall, grief comes with hope. This is realistic in such stories. Victory rarely arrives alone. It often brings loss beside it. That makes the victory deeper. People celebrate, but they also remember the price Orhan must. The night grows darker, but Sultan Orhan's mind becomes clear. The enemy believe darkness will hide their pain, but darkness can also hide Orhan answer. The ships at Carrie's harbor stand like sleeping agents, waiting for the order to move. The Emperor believes these ships will help him close the circle around Orhan, believes the pressure will break the Ottoman side, but neither of them understand that Orhan has already seen the weak point. A ship is strong on the water, but helpless when fire reaches it before it sails. Orhan gathers the man he trusted most. He looks at their face one by one. These are not only soldiers, these are men who cry the weight of state in silence. They know that the road he may not bring them back. They know that if they are catch, the enemy will show no mercy. They know that if they fail, the ships will sail and Brusa may face a great danger. Yet none of them steps back. This is loyalty, not loyalty spoken loudly in safe room, but loyalty proven in the dark before death. Orhan tells them that the mission is not only for their names to be prized. It is for the people who sleep behind Brusa walls. It is for the mothers who wait. It is for the children who do not understand why the city is afraid. It is for the martyrs whose blood has already fallen because of it is for Usman Bey's dream and for the future that must not be handed to the enemy. His words are simple, but they enter the heart of the man because they know he speaks the truth. The man leave without noise. The horse move slowly at first, then disappear into the night. Brusa remains behind them, silent and full of prayer. Some people may not know where they have gone, but the air itself feels different. A secret has left the city, a danger has begun to journey. Orhan watches them go, and in that movement, he is both ruler and father to his soldier. He sends them because he must, he warriors because he is human. He stands firm because the state need him to stand firm. The road to harbor is not kind. Every hill can hide an eye. Every tree can hide a spray, every village road can carry news to the wrong ear. The men do not speak unless they must. Their hands stay near their weapons, their eye watch the dark. They know that the mission cold and before it begins, it one enemy Scott sees them, but they keep moving because behind them stand Rusa and before them waits the enemy plan. As they come closer to the harbor, the smell of water and wood reach them. The night wind carries sound from the shore, a rope moving against a post, a low voice from a guard, the soft heat of water against the ship. The men stop and watch. The ship are there, large, dark, and ready to the imperial. They are strength to Orhan. They are danger to the Alps. They are the target that must become as before sunrise. The divided quantity. One group move toward the storage area, another group watches the guard, another move near the first ship. The oil and fire materials are prepared with careful hand. A torch is kept hidden until the last moment. No one wants to give the enemy even one extra breath of warning. The man know that once the fire begins, the whole harbor will awake. Until then, silence is their shield. But danger does not await politely. A guard hears a small sound and turns for one heartbeat. Everything freezes. The guard steps closer. One elapses, holds his breath behind a stuck of creates another place. His hand on the hilt of his sword. If the guard shoots, the mission may fail. The guard comes near enough that the elapsed can see his face in the weak internal. That then, in a quick movement, the elapsed pulls him down and stops the alarm before it leaves his mouth. The mission continues, but now the night is becoming thinner. Time is running out. The first ship is prepared. Oil touches the right place. A rope is cut to so the ship cannot be moved away quickly. The dry part of the deck are found. The sail is ready to catch. The men move like shadow, but their heart beat like drum. They have trained for battle, but this is different in open battle. The enemy stand before you. Here the enemy may peer from any side. The sea is one side, darkness one another, and that everywhere. Then the movement comes. The hidden flame is opened for a second. It is small, almost weak, then it touches the oil. The fire runs forward as it has been waiting for this command. It climbs the wooden, it catches the rope, it reaches the sail. The first ship begins to burn. At first, the harbor does not understand. Then someone shouts. Another voice answers. A bell or alarm sound. Men run from the shore. The sleeping beast awake. Now the mission changed. The Alap no longer hide. They fight, push, block, and move from ship the ship. The second ship catches fire. Then the third smoke rises into the sky. The water shines red from the reflection. The enemy soldier rush with buckets, but the fire spread faster than their fear can organize. Some try to cut burning part away, others fall back from the heat. The soldiers scream because they know what is beginning lost. These are not only sheep, there are imperial hopes burning before their eye. One of Orhan man sees that the final ship has not catched properly. If it survives, the mission will not be complete. He looks back at his brother. He understands what must be done. The path to the last ship is almost blocked by enemy. Soldiers smoke cover his arm, but he does not stop. He reaches the rope, throws the fire where it must go, and watch the sail begin to burn. In that moment, he knows the mission has success, even if he may not return. This kind of sacrifices gives meaning to victory. The audience does not only see fire, they see devotion. They see that the state is being protected by men who are ready to give themselves without asking for reward. This is what makes Orhan command powerful. He has people who believe in dream so deeply that they cry it into death. No imperial can easily defeat such people. No traitor can fully understand them. The escape become a storm. The harbor is full of shouting, smoke, and steel. Orhan's men use the to move back, but the enemy is everywhere. Some fight on the narrow pier, some jump down and climb throughout wet rocks, some use smoke as a curtain.